Oh, g'day guys, welcome back to the workshop. Now this is a project that I've been wanting to do for, well, a fair while. I'll show you why. So round tube, great as far as, you know, you're not going to harvest dirt and mud in between there and your sill panel. Good for sliding along stuff, except for all the intermediates in there. But the main reason that I don't like them is you really have to be foot on the side to be able to climb up on there. So you put your foot there, and you'd grab, obviously not the rack's hanging up there, but you'd grab onto the rack and you'd be sort of with the body roll curve. It's just not comfortable, and you're constantly slipping off. So, and you don't really even have a choice to put your toe in there, especially with steelies on. So we're going to be done. I'm going to still use the base of this rock slider. So I'm going to basically cut all my tube off and get rid of it, be done with it, and replace it with these bits we've lasered out. They will be welded on to the side of the RHS there. So I've folded up just a template to make that make a bit more sense for you. That effectively will be a cross section of the step of the inside of it. So we'll have these gussets every, I'm not sure, I'll just work that out as I go. But so yeah, that's basically the gist of it. I'll pull this step off, cut all that tube back, so it's just the bare 50 by 50 RHS, and then I'll probably have to put it back on and tack my gussets on, and then we can get my sheet. Hopefully our folder can fold that sheet. Otherwise the project's back on pause, but yeah, I'm confident it will. They're only, they might be 1600 long, so I reckon it'll be all right. Now we're pretty well back to a bare canvas, no tube in the way. We can work out where we need the gussets put. I'll disconnect the battery so I can tack them in place. But yeah, and get some shape to this. With this body line coming out, as opposed to this sill that's straight, so that's part of the actual quarter panel. We really can't, or I'd like to keep the same clearance, which is about 25mm, right the way along that panel as well. So these cleats will be no good in this section. In fact, I'll either cut one out at a bit of 5mm, or it may even hold itself there. I'll work that out as I build it, but so pretty well our last cleat will be around about there. Marked all my intervals for my gussets. I'm going I've marked them on this top side. I'm putting 7 along here, along the main straight part. So I mark the interval. That way, when you buff your powder coat off, obviously you want to buff that off before you start welding. And then I can transfer it after the paint's rubbed off. If you mark it on here, like this, you're just going to buff that off and you have to remark it. So that is bare metal and bare metal. That is the best way to get a nice weld. I probably should do all these sides, but I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to weld them, so I'll do them with a flat disc afterwards. So getting them all in, all level, all square off of the RHS. That's why I've tacked the top and bottom, not along the side. And we get them all square like that. This one is over here. Yeah, tack top and bottom, being mindful that when you tack one side it's probably going to want to pull, and then there'll be a gap under the opposite side. That's why I was just pulling that back before I tack it, otherwise that level, when I put it across the top, it'll be jumping. If these are all in line, every single side of that cleat should line up. It's going to be hard with only a couple hands, but there is a gap that gets gradually bigger because it's striking out on that second to last cleat. So, I'm not sure if you can see it like that, but that second to last one is not in line with the rest of them. Now the rest of them would have been pretty easy because it just pulled on that weld there, so I'd been able to just lever it and then tack this edge. But this one is already striking out on this edge. So it's what we'll do, we'll tack this on this edge, we'll buzz that weld, that's why we just tack them, cut that, and we'll just bend it that way until that level sits perfectly flat on each cleat on every side. Yeah, that looks bloody beautiful actually. They're all in line, every side. If you put a straight edge on them, every side will be touching or within, yeah, good enough for a rock slider anyway. So now we can weld these cleats completely. Rightio, we have stripped our first one down. I've measured it. Sitting in the pan brake over here. I've adjusted it all, I hope. And this is what we want. It's our little template there. It's probably on the limit of this machine. So that won't do it. 2 mil, that long. I'll break my back trying to do it and there's no one else here. So I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to run a small groove just with the grinder, nice and carefully, straight along that line. Test fit is sitting on the patrol. We have awesome protection under that sill. I'm stoked with that. It also, I'm not sure if you can see because the snorkel, but it doesn't, it might protrude past the bodywork just a fraction. So it's going to stop a fair bit of roost as well, and also protect anything that, you know, if it's a tree or whatever it might be on the side of that, on the side of the vehicle, it's hopefully going to tackle the slider instead of the panel. Now these guards will need to be, I've left a bit of length on these, like I said before. This panel tapers out, so that top cap will need to sort of follow that as well. That'll need to taper out with it. These guards, I need to start working out how I'm going to finish the ends. Like the front and the back, because I want it to obviously look nice. So I'm just doing this end piece. This is the back, this is the rear of the vehicle. So I just need to cap this in. It's all, I've got to be careful because I've got, if there was no flares on the car, it wouldn't be so bad, but because I've got flares and they're running all different angles as well, that makes it more difficult. So this piece here, with all different angles, like this is square off the vehicle, but then obviously this one comes up an angle, so nothing is, yeah, it's just harder to work out your angles on. So that's that end cap done. It was going to involve a lot more angles. I was going to have a fold there and it was going to follow the body a little bit more, but I really got jack of it. So in a perfect world, that should be all sweet too, on both ways, which is nice. So yeah. Move on to the front now, which was more in depth because of that body, the way it juts out. So we'll work that out. Alright, I think we're ready to now cut our top piece, and I'll fill this corner in afterwards. That would have to be close. That is looking very nice. We need to pretty well crease this piece from that corner to this corner, I hope. And that way these two corners will meet. I may have cut this a fraction short, but it might be right. It would look better if that was on the angle with another triangle down that way. I'm not happy that I've got to do a whole nother side. This one's not finished, but I'm just not looking forward to doing it all again. This is what we've come up with today. Pull that corner out of it and put that angle in there. Makes a hell of a difference aesthetically. Functionality, practicality, not even the slightest bit of difference. But no, I'm stoked. They are going to be solid as. They don't protrude from the body. They don't really protrude too much more than the old ones, but the step ability, as I'd like to call it, is a shitload better. So nah, very happy. I am shutting it down for the day. See you tomorrow. I didn't show you a huge amount of the process I went to polishing this back to get a nice finish. Now I'm going to put like a textured coating on it, like a stone guard or like a raptor coating, raptor lining, whatever, that sort of finish. Not exactly sure on which one I'll use. So it doesn't need to be spot on. That texture will cover some imperfections. I used a belt sander with a heavy grit. I think it was like a 36 grit to get most of it back. Well, actually, before that, I used a flat disc, but if you're not sure what a flat disc is, that's a flat disc. They obviously are not good for getting bulk off, but not amazing for getting everything super flat and super smooth, because you'll divot it in, you'll put more weight into it, you'll gouge it out. So great first piece. Then I went to a belt sander over here. Went to a belt sander. Awesome for getting things flat. I'll show you why. And like I said, I didn't need it perfect. So hopefully you can see, here you can, that there is flat disc mark. So I could polish that more and more with a belt sander. You can see all the, let's get that glare out there. But you can see the low spots where the flat disc, I've gouged it out too much. That's an easy one to see there. So that'll be covered by the whatever coating I put on it. So yeah, I've gone belt sander until I'm happy. And I've also gone and rolled it right along that edge. So you know, it's looking pretty sexy. All right, I thought I'd weigh these before I start cutting this one up. Just peace of mind, see what the difference is. It will be heavier. What do we got there? 18.9, so 19 kilos for that one. $28 kilos. So we're looking at 9 kilos heavier per side. Not ideal, but definitely more protection and usability. So I guess you get nothing for free. Got some mounting I need to change up on the rear just to sturdy it up a little bit. And then it's down to get coated. I'm probably going to put Raptor coating on it, or Raptor line, or whatever you call it, for a couple of reasons. I think I told you, some non-slipness on the step. If I powder coat them, they'll be slippery as, because it's smooth. And also longevity, like that stuff sticks like shit to a blanket. So yeah, that's probably the goer. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I'll show you some pics of the finished product in due course. Well, got my sliders back and they are looking very nice. I'm stoked. I think Alex from BB Collision said he put 2 coats on them. They got a nice heavy texture, which should give a little bit of grip, which would be nice. So yeah, let's get these fitted. See what they look like. If you're wondering why the Patrol is white, it is still the Sidetrack Patrol. It's getting a facelift. Yep, the black wrap is all off. It's getting something new. That'll be coming up in episode 19, I think. But yeah, we'll keep you up to date with that too. But yeah, these sliders, once all my flares are back on, once all the proper flares are back on, and the new colour scheme, I reckon they are going to look pretty damn good. Very happy. Huge thank you to Alex and the boys at BB Collision. I'm absolutely pumped with that coating, and I'm pretty interested to see how it turns out long term as well. As far as longevity, like these things copper hiding, so it'll be interesting to see how good the product is. Anyway, that is the sliders done. You will see it as completed with flares on it down the track. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that little build. Subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, hang around for more.